Okay, welcome back. One more time, one more lecture. Here we go. This morning I was asked a question when I came in to see you guys, and the question was, Raven, why do you always quote the Joker? Because I do. I quote the Joker all the time. And I always ask, why so serious? Great phrase. I mean, they got posters of the whole thing with the Joker saying, why so serious? And actually, when I was doing my music, I would have intro music before I started playing, and it would be the Joker going off saying things like, why so serious? And all of this stuff would be going on. So yeah, it really is sort of a mantra of mine. Why so serious? And why the heck do I say it all the time? Well, because quite frankly, it is true. It is so true. The quote hits home to me. Why so serious? I mean, in the context that the Joker was using was a little bit different than the way I'm using it. But for me, it makes really, really good sense. Have any of you read the book, Don't Sweat the Small Stuff? And it's all small stuff?
Yeah, the book's even small.
And the book is even small, right? So you wouldn't have to sweat reading it. I guess so. That's a good point. It is small. You know, life is short. It is so short. And I find it interesting that people look at it as bothersome or troubling or not worth it or whatever. You know, I wonder if they considered the odds of what it's be to become a human being, or to wear this spacesuit. I like to call our bodies our spacesuits. You know, it's kind of scientific. Science fiction. But you know, to me, we're walking around in this spacesuit. The spacesuit's made out of meat, flesh, bone, and all of these complex things. But really, you know, it's not our true self. What really illuminates the body itself is our energy. Our energy, some may call it our soul, our spirit. That might you might consider that. But you're not this body. This body is your spacesuit. It's kind of like you know, inside this room, and you may have heard me say this before. You know, but if I turn this light on, the energy from the power company becomes the light. But it's also that exit sign over there. It's the clock over there. It's the computer in the other room. It's the fan that's blowing right here. It's the air conditioning that's going. It becomes, but it's not that vessel itself. The energy is overall just the energy. What happens when the light gets turned off? Where does the energy go? Any idea?
Is it just stagnant, or does it go back to where it's originated from?
I don't know. What do you think? Does it just stay in that light? It's radiating there. And by the way, is it that very specific energy that just stays right there? Let me ask you another question. If you were in the ocean and you grabbed some water and you put it in a cup. Now, there's water in the cup. The cup is now useful. You can drink the cup. It'll stay in the cup. I mean, it'll stay there until it eats. Let's say it's a styrofoam or paper cup. Until it eats the paper cup. The paper cup's old. It's gonna, you know how it gets old when you keep a liquid in there. It starts crumbling and it starts to get unuseful. And so we pour the water back into the ocean. Now, if I grab a new cup, am I going to grab the same molecules of water? And by the way, is the water that was in the cup any less the ocean than when it was the ocean, or is it just now a cup of water? Or is it a cup of ocean water, or does it matter that it's ocean water? It's almost the same with us, isn't it though? Yes, we're filled up with the energy, with the universal life force. I like to call it Vishwa Prana. We're filled up with that. What happens when we're shut off? Sheep are shut off. Where does it go? No one really knows. No one really knows. You know, Ernest Holmes, who was a famous preacher of his era, once said, "We do not know how it is that an invisible energy causes the sap to flow up a tree, or how a chicken comes out of an egg. We may only watch the process. No biologist knows what life is. No psychologist knows what the mind is. No philosopher knows what reality is. And no theologian really knows what God is. Yet put together all of these things, and that is what is meant when the word life is used." Fascinating quote. We don't know. I can speculate, I can postulate and say, well, the energy that is us, that it's illuminating this body, bringing life to this spacesuit, then goes, I mean, I could theorize, postulate. It goes back to the source, maybe. There's that old Buddhist tale of the wave that I've told you before. Enlightenment comes from the wave, and it realizes it's not the wave at all, but it's always been just the ocean expressing itself as a wave. Maybe it's like that. Or maybe it's a bearded guy up in the sky that calls you back to be with him too. Maybe it's that. I don't know, but Ernest Holmes, I like what he says. No theologian knows really what God is. Interesting speculation on me, I suppose. Are we supposed to know? Are we supposed to know? I mean, it's my belief that everyone and everything is all connected, like the ocean and the wave. It's my belief that we're all connected. We're here in our little space suits, getting to experience life. You know, the odds of you getting to become a human being walking around in a human spacesuit is 1 in 400 trillion. Did you know that? 1 in 400 trillion. Can you wrap your mind around the number 100 trillion or 400 trillion? I wonder if we had 400 trillion phone books, if you stack them all up, or dictionaries, I wonder if they would make it to the moon. Should look that up. You know, life is a unique opportunity. We have the opportunity to discover ourselves. Yet we're so trapped up in this little details, trivial things, as if they matter on the grander scale. Human beings have this problem. You see, they get into their spacesuits, and then they start to think that they are their spacesuit. And when they start to think that they are the spacesuit, they start to have this self-importance happen, this ego happen, this I am the center of the universe that starts to happen. I wonder why that is. I wonder why we get trapped in the idea that we somehow are the greatest, the only, and the most important. I wonder if it's because we are, in fact, all connected, and maybe deep down inside we know that we are all. Or maybe that's not true at all. I wonder. Some people say that you are God. I like to think, some people say we are like God. Some people say that you can be a God. I like to think that we're an expression like a song. Like a songwriter who writes a song. Expression, I like to believe. Or a creator, artist who paints a picture. But is the song ever gone from the songwriter? Is the artwork has it ever left the mind of the artist? So aren't we a part of it in one way or the other? We are a part of it. What is it? I guess that's perhaps the question. What is it?
If we're a song and a songwriter, wouldn't that mean we could collab with
Your meaning, well, you know what? Just like a song, your meaning, the songwriter gives you meaning, but other people can have their own opinions on the meaning of the song. Eddie Vedder from the band Pearl Jam, when asked what his lyrics meant, he goes, "I'm not going to tell you because I prefer you to come up with your own opinion about what they mean." I thought that was fascinating. I always wanted to tell people what my songs meant. Suppose that was my ego. But he was like, "I'm going to let you form your own opinion and what it means to you." That's very true. We've talked about that many times. You can't stop other people's thoughts, opinions, and views of you, and what they think or believe it you to be. Can't control anyone else. Our selves, I think, are connected to all other selves out there. And I can sort of prove my theory. Did you create the floor that you are sitting on? Did you make the mats that you're sitting on? Did you make the clothes you're wearing, the shoes you wore in here? Did you build the vehicle that brought you here? Did you make this building? Did you hunt and gather the food that you ate before you got here? You are connected. We touch everything and everyone in some way. Of course, you've heard of the 5 separations. You know, you're only 5 people away from anybody. How might you know Kevin Bacon? Well, let me see. I know Jacob Bresler, who works in the film industry, who's worked with everyone from Sylvester Stallone. He used to work with Sylvester Stallone. Sylvester Stallone worked with Kevin Bacon. That was only 3. Wow. How might you know Kevin Bacon? Huh. Yeah, we're very, very connected to everything and everyone. When we start to think that we are the center of the universe because we have a unique spacesuit, then we are under delusion. We are trapped in the world of TikTok. I like to call the world of the Matrix. And I'm not saying TikTok the app. The world of TikTok to me is the one that's the humdrum, everyday, blah, blah, blah. The one that your ego has built and has made. Your self-importance. Your illusions you're attached to. Like, for example, the things that you have. We've had this conversation before, but mostly human beings are confused. As time ticks on, we begin to think that we are, in fact, our spacesuits. You get attached to TikTok, the world of the Matrix. Our worldly attachments sort of become a part of us. This illusionary state of our status. Something that we identify as. Get a lot of that these days. I identify as. My favorite identifying as is identifying as me. I identify as me. We tend to start thinking that the more things we have, the better we are. The more status and position that we acquire, the better we are. The more acquisition that we have. Maybe the more land we get, the more apartment complexes we buy, more cars and houses, more people we collect. The bigger the title that you might have, president of whatever. The more certificates you have on your wall. The more people talk about you, the more famous you get. I seem to think that that is important. But the thing is that you and everything in this world is impermanent. The world is growing to be so complex with our modern technology. It seems like we're evolving and becoming a society that's better and better and better. As we evolve scientifically, it almost seems like we're living in a science fiction movie to those of us who have not grown up with those type of things. But it does also seem as everyone in this room and across the world can feel that the world is not evolving spiritually and emotionally. In fact, I think we are devolving. Is that even a word? It is now. How can we evolve when we seem to be more concerned with what we have as opposed to who and what we are? How can we be evolved when the average person looks at their cell phone 22 times in an hour? 22 times an hour. That is beyond obsession. Unhealthy. What are we looking at 22 times an hour that's so damn important? Got to see who commented on your Twitter? As if that matters. Got to see who looked at your Instagram? Who cares? Got to check the Facebook, just in case somebody posted something interesting about little kittens. That's what we're spending 22 times an hour? What is that in a day? What? Let's say we're up 12 hours. 12 times. Let me do the math on that. 12 times 22. You got it?
264.
264 times a day into a 12-hour period. Wow! That is incredible. Wow. Mankind's major problem is that they've made their lives so complicated, they don't know how to extract themselves from the predicament. How difficult would it be for someone to put down their cell phone for, let's say, 2 months, 3 months? Let's say you can't pick it up. You get used to it by the end of the 3 months, but the first couple of weeks it would be hard. You would feel like, I gotta pick it up. I gotta look at it. You know one thing that human beings have forgotten? That they're gonna die. They're impermanent. And that little comment on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, or whatever, it don't mean nothing. Nothing. It has zero importance. That opinion of that person in the drive-thru who's honking at you behind because it took you too long to pick up your healthy food. The significance of that is zero. You're going to be a little late for work because you overslept, because your alarm clock didn't go off, and you're so stressed, your blood pressure's up, your anxiety is high, and everything, and the importance of it is zero. You know why? You're going to die. Maybe not today, I hope not today, but it could happen. And you let something like that worry you? So this is why I like skulls. I like skulls because you can look at skulls in a couple of different ways. The first way is death, doom, destruction, Shiva. The way I prefer is that thing is smiling. It's got a forever grin until it disintegrates. Because it got the joke. The joke was, you're dead. Your energy is wherever it's at. You're back in the ocean. You're back at the power plant. You are gone. Your body is in the ground. And it's in the ground smiling. I finally got the joke. Someone once said to me, they said, why are you taking this game of life so seriously when God made it for his amusement? Why so serious? I'm not saying don't go out and do things. You're here to do something. I mean, you have this unique opportunity, 1 in 400 trillion, to go out and live your dreams and do what you love and be the very best you can. But then you let little things bother you. You get upset over something small. You know, we have forgotten the truth. But don't worry, the truth hasn't forgotten you. No matter how much technology you want to use or how much you want to bury your head in the sand, the truth has not forgotten you. So that beckons the question, what are you doing with your time? It's the wise man that goes, you know, I know that I'm walking into tomorrow totally blindfolded. I'm walking into today totally blindfolded. I don't know if I'm going to get out of this thing alive today. I'm not really sure. I don't really know 100%. I can't say absolutely that I will be here tomorrow. I always like to say, well, the good Lord willing and the creeks don't rise. But I don't actually know. Is that depressing? Actually, I think it's pretty exciting. I think it's kind of exciting. I mean, life would be really dull if you lived forever. What is there left to do if you live forever? I don't think human beings are meant to even know the true meaning of this thing. We're just meant to experience it. We're just meant to watch the egg. We don't really know why the egg. Has anyone ever told us why? Why the egg? Why? Why? No one's ever said. Nobody ever said what the mind is. What is it really? What is it? Not don't postulate. What is it for real? What is it? What is reality? Is it perception or is it, what is it? Are we meant to even know? You know, I was talking to this waitress yesterday, and she was telling me how this guy was yelling and screaming at her, and how she was so upset. He bothered her so much. And I said, well, what was he yelling at? He goes, well, he ordered a brisket sandwich, and it normally comes with chips and dip. I put French fries on the plate instead. I immediately apologized and got him the chips and dip. But he was so ticked at it. He was yelling and screaming, calling her names, belittling her, doing all kinds of things over chips and dip? Serious? Yeah, exactly. Too damn serious. Over something little. That didn't matter at all, but he certainly affected her. Remember, we're all connected. It ruined the rest of her day, her waiting on me, but she didn't give me any problems, but I mean, it was hard for her to go on with her day. Over chips? Can you imagine? Oh, I'm sure you can. You've probably been there or been the person yelling at another person. Or the person being so pissed over something so insignificant. I don't get my way. The world may end. You're right, the world may end. You're going to be upset over something so stupid. Oh, I'm just going to kill myself because I don't get what I want. Don't worry, you're going to die. Don't worry, why rush it? It's going to come. And when it does come, you're not going to be worried about that stupid thing. I didn't get the water bottle I wanted or whatever. Just go jump off a bridge. And by the time you're falling off the bridge, and you're going to be going, oh shoot, what did I just do? You're not going to be going, so show them I don't get a water bottle. Dumb. It's the foolish people that do stuff like that. You imagine that guy too, the guy who's yelling and screaming. I mean, his blood pressure probably went up. The hormones in his body went up. I mean, just all kinds of things happened to his body to put him into that fight mode. He's willing to put himself in stress over chips. You see, the human being's ultimate goal doesn't lie in how much things we get and how much status we have. It lies within our own consciousness, our own experience, our happiness, our journey. This journey through inner space. Inner space. This journey where you discover who you are, why you are. Remember, we talked last time about the why. Why you are. And really, you probably will never know like the grander scheme to why you had the opportunity to be born as a human being. 1 in 400 trillion chance. But you get the opportunity to discover yourself truly, inside and out. Don't you though? Somebody's here? FedEx. All right. FedEx is here. The journey, it's when you turn inward. It's when your true journey begins. Remember, in the Bible it says the kingdom of heaven is inside you. Isn't that wonderful news? Kingdom of heaven is inside you. So it's the wise person who always seeks to simplify their life, because they understand that the true journey lies within, not without. Simplification. The wise recognizes the little things in life, but yet they don't let the little things get to them. They let the little things be the little things. The greatest truths in life are always the simplest truths. And the simplest human beings tend to be the greatest of human beings. The ones that aren't attached too much. The ones who don't care too much. And I don't mean care about our loved ones. I mean care about the little things, the trivial. The ones who can let it go. I like this quote. It's not actually by the Buddha, but I saw it on a t-shirt and I thought it was great. It's the Buddha sitting there like this, looking so serene as he always does. And it says, underneath it, it says, you got to let that shit go. I love that. I love that. You got to let it go. Why so serious? It's not like you're going to get out of this thing alive anyway. And that's great news. You get to return to the source. Remember we talked about if you zoomed out on Google Earth, if you're starting to think that you're the center of the universe, you can zoom out on Google Earth and see how small you really are. But that doesn't mean that you're not connected to everyone. Ourselves are just like everyone else. We are connected to everyone. The person in South Africa is having power outages because they can't. Are you connected to anyone in South Africa? Are you not?
Not personally, but still connected, I guess is the right word.
How about you? Connected in any way?
I know South Africans are personally.
You know South Africans personally. Boom, boom. Connected. I know South Africans personally. Boom, boom. Connected. You know nobody in Wisconsin? You do? I didn't know anybody in Wisconsin, but now I'm connected to you. You know somebody in Wisconsin. How about Baltimore? Anybody? You know somebody from Baltimore? I know somebody from Baltimore. You guys are connected in somehow. I was thinking about going to Subway and getting myself a very healthy sandwich on the Hero one.
This location says they're out of it. They don't carry one card rep. This per location.
I'm not going to go to that one then. I'm going to go to the one down there.
Yeah.
Yeah, actually, I'm probably not. I'm probably going to just make myself something here. But if I did, I would be connected to whoever made the paper that they wrapped the sandwich in. What about the printing company that prints the paper? What about the company who makes the ink? What about the company who makes the printing press? What about the company who makes the gears that go in the printing press? What about the people who manufacture the plastic that make the gears? What about the people who make the metal that goes inside the printer? What about the people who put the printer together? What about the people who actually deliver it? FedEx guy. I mean, we are so connected to everything and everyone. Yet, if you zoom out on Google Earth, we're not that important. But yet we are. But yet we're not. And I don't think we're supposed to know why that mystery exists. Because I've never met anyone that actually knows. I know I've met a lot of people that actually postulate, a lot of people that theorize, but nothing can be proven. Well, it's just faith. Okay, I get it, but it's still not facts. So, I don't think we're really supposed to know. We can believe whatever we'd like. But one thing that we do know that is a fact is that we are going to die. You were born, you're going to die. And the little things that you get so upset about, he didn't wash the dishes, or she didn't do the laundry, or this person, you said a crossword to me. Why so serious? It's not important. It really, really isn't. Okay? So don't take this as negative. Please take it as positive. And then ask yourself, what are you going to do with the time that you have? What are you going to do?
Important, not like in the long run, yes, but there are some things that are important.
Well, there are some things that are important, like I need to breathe right now. Whew, thanks for reminding me. Another thing is, I'm getting kind of hungry. I would like to eat. I get thirsty. I need that. My body does need sleep. What else? What else? I like relationships because we are human beings. We like to have relationships. What else?
Exercise?
Exercise? Yeah, you got to take care of the spacesuit. I wouldn't want it to get broken down and end up leaving it too soon. But you never know. It could be today. I don't know. Next 25 minutes, who knows? We can jump in my car and get hit by a meteor. I don't know. It happened to the dinosaurs. They weren't expecting it either. So. Yeah, some things are important. Yeah, sure. Some things, the simplest things. But the big things, like what we think as modern people think are big things. Like, okay, what's a big thing? I gotta have a job making, $250 million a year. Like, okay, that's cool. That gives you a little freedom. Nothing wrong with that, unless it becomes you. Because it can't actually be you, but you think it's you, and so now you're in this matrix world of TikTok all over again, and you don't really see the big thing. It's like the fisherman. I tell you the story about the fisherman. Well, here's the story real briefly about the fisherman. There's this fisherman sitting on his front porch. His son-in-law comes up to him and goes, Pop, I know that you enjoy sitting on the front porch and you have the boat out here, but you have a fishing method that no one else has, and you're bringing in some amazing fish. You know what you could do? You could buy a fleet of boats, and that you would get more money. And he goes, well, what would happen if I get a fleet of boats? He goes, no, it's really simple. All it's going to take is you get a fleet of boats, you'll start making more money. You can buy a bigger house. You can get more things. And you can have more employees, and they'll start, you'll have to work a little extra, but your employees will start taking off. They'll thrive, but you'll also thrive. You'll get more money. And he goes, well, what can I do with that? He goes, well, here's what you could do. Once you buy a full fleet, you could buy your own fishing company that actually sells directly to the market. When that happens, now you become a millionaire. You can get a big house, and more boats. And he goes, well, what would happen then? And then after you do that, you can buy even more boats and get even more fishermen. And you can get even a bigger house and a bigger stuff. And then, after all of that, and it may take a few years, but then you can sit on your front porch and you can enjoy all the stuff that you have. As the old man is sitting on his front porch, looking at all the things that he has already, he wonders how that's important at all. He's already got all of those things. He's already sitting on his front porch. He's already enjoying all the things that he has. We'll make things too complicated. Why so serious? Okay?